1999, a phenomenal event occurred in the skies which altered the course of human history.
It's always eat or be eaten out in the battlefield, no matter who or what you're up against.
I've only spared you from total dissolution.
The aliens have taken hostages and are controlling their bodies. Listen, ooh la la, we're taking off by Astrobeat spaceship right now.
Roger.
Oh yeah, this could be fun.
Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone. I can foretell many things in the future. So, let's see your future. And here's our new vocalist, Chop Master Onion! Now, wait a minute. Who is that? Lammy, here! Wait! Everybody wait!
Music. Video games. The music normally builds on the experience of the games being played, but there is one genre of gaming where the music goes beyond simply enhancing the experience. The music game genre. A genre where music both enhances and creates the gaming experience. Whether you are interacting with the rhythm of the music through carefully timed button pushing, or traversing through worlds built by the music itself, the music video game genre creates unique experiences that few others could replicate. One of the earliest known music video games was the 1995 Quest for Fame, a PC game that relied on an electronic guitar pick for the rhythm-based gameplay. It featured rock group Aerosmith, who a year earlier was branded into the rail shooter Revolution X. But it was the ambitions of musician-turned-game developer that helped innovate a genre and popularize it. Masaya Matsuura. As a musician, Matsuura joined fellow musician Chaka to form pop-rock group Size in 1985. They had worked together 2 years earlier under the name Playtex, but as Size, they became one of the most popular duos in music. Some of their most notable works include the songs Earth and Angel Knight from the second season of the anime City Hunter. They also contributed to original animated video Toy with the songs Lemon no Yuki and Cubic Lovers. Matsuura was the supervisor of the music in the OAV, responsible for the music acts that were heard throughout. Matsuura would also be known for his work as the composer of the horror film Sweet Home, featuring the song Child performed under the Size name. In 1993, having gained interest in the advancements of computer technology, Matsuura produced a game for the Mac called The Seven Colors: Legend of Size City. The game was successful enough to earn him a Multimedia Grand Prix award. After 2 more games, Turn X and Turning Glue, the first game released under his game studio Nana Onsha, Matsuura left Size to focus more on being a game dev, giving him a newfound sense of creativity that he felt he couldn't get as part of Size, no matter how successful the band became. In 1996, Matsuura released Parappa the Rapper. As a musician, he also wanted to make a game that didn't use MIDI technology, something that nearly every video game composer had to rely on at the time. For Parappa the Rapper, he wanted the music to be built around samplers. Samplers are a type of synthesizer used commonly in rap music to create a real, authentic recording sample of music instruments or recorded songs. Samplers were just part of what made rap music what it is. The other part was the freestyle, the unrestricted rhythm from the vocals layered onto the music, and the interactivity between performer and performance. Parappa the Rapper was a collaborative effort between himself, artist Rodney Greenblatt, and Ryo Watabe, who served as both the lyricist of the game and performer of various characters, most notably being the performer of Chop Master Onion, Joe Chin, and Ma-san in Jammer Lammy. Parappa the Rapper would be met with near universal acclaim and be regarded as one of the most creative and innovative releases on the PlayStation, leading Parappa to be viewed as one of the unofficial mascots of the PlayStation brand at the time. Parappa the Rapper's popularity would be strong enough for a new game in the franchise to be greenlit, but instead of a direct sequel, fans were treated with something else. While Nanaonsha's team got bigger and pressure was put on them to produce a sequel that would be just as successful, Matsura decided to go a different direction. He wanted to expand the world that was introduced in Parappa the Rapper with new characters and a new music genre for the call and response gameplay. Lammy would be viewed as more challenging to develop from Greenblatt and Watabe themselves. Watabe, who once again served as lyricist and performer, considered writing for Lammy to be more difficult due to having to write the call and responses with a guitar riff, as opposed to the Simon Says rap approach from the previous game. Greenblatt strongly believed that Matsura should have gone with a direct sequel instead, believing that doing that would keep the franchise fresh in people's minds. It wouldn't take nearly as long to produce, and the rock genre would be too jarring for audiences. Matsura's decision on the direction of the new game was based on not wanting to rely on the trendiness of rap, which he had felt was becoming too contemporary at the time. Despite the reluctance, Matsura and the majority of his team were on board with Lammy instead of Parappa the Rapper 2, which would come much later. The game took 2 years to develop, pushing the PlayStation to its limits with new modes, a crazier, more psychedelic story, and an increased challenge in being able to pull off the highest scores in the songs when compared to Parappa the Rapper. Lammy was also intentionally targeted to audiences slightly older than the target audience of the first game. Greenblatt eased into development, largely due to how much easier it was to exchange ideas and pitches via the internet, an improvement over having to exchange ideas and pitches via fax machine during the development of the previous game. The design of main protagonist Lammy went through various variations for settling on the Lammy that was chosen. According to Greenblatt, the team envisioned Lammy having a resemblance to Australian pop star Natalie Imbruglia. Lammy would be performed by Sarah Ramirez. This game would end up being their first major acting role.
Hi, this is Lammy. I can't answer the phone right now.
I forgot.
Because the milk can live show is coming up real soon. I'm not really ready for it. But Katie, Monson, and I have spent a lot of time in the studio. My solo was not really the way I wanted it to be, so I kept practicing, and it turned out to be okay. But anyways, please leave your name and a brief message, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, bye-bye.
During this time, Ramirez was renowned for their Broadway performances and would have a minor on-screen role in the 1998 film You've Got Mail.
This is a cash-only line. What? Cash only?
Oh my god.
The late Michelle Burks would reprise her role as Cat from the first game.
Hey, don't forget, we are Milk Cans. With my son's beats, Lammy's guitar, and my almighty bass combined with that distinguished voice, there's nothing to be afraid of.
In this game, Cat would have a much bigger role as the vocalist and bassist of the in-game band Milk Can. Burks as Cat would perform 2 of the game's songs, Got to Move, the game's final stage song, and the credits song, Keep Your Head Up. The gameplay followed the same rules as its predecessor. Lammy would participate in a song with the master singing one line from a song, while you as Lammy would repeat that line through call and response. But unlike Parappa repeating the line with his voice, Lammy would repeat the verse using her guitar. The cool, good, bad, poor ranking system returns, with the rules being the same. Poor button inputs decrease your rank, while correct inputs keeps you at good, and successful freestyle attempts bumps you to cool. In this game, there is a hidden rank beyond cool, Fever Mode. On loading screens for stages you have previously played, you will see a code to be inputted during Cool Mode. If the code is put in correctly, you will achieve Fever Mode, where you will have the chance to earn a much higher score than in Cool Mode. Once you beat the game for the first time, you unlock Parappa, and you can play through most of the entire game as Parappa with different lyrics to each song to accommodate Parappa's vocal call and response better. Stage 6, Taste of Teriyaki, was changed for the North American release. In Japan and the PAL territories, Lammy dies and the entirety of Stage 6 takes place in Hell. In North America, Lammy is instead taken to a remote island. Jammer Lammy was released in March 1999 in Japan, August 1999 in North America, and September 1999 in PAL territories for the PlayStation. An arcade version of the game, Jammer Lammy Now, was released in Japan in December 1999. The arcade version follows most of the original game's basic gameplay, but with a completely different story and a guitar controller to use. The arcade game was released as part of a collaboration between Sony and Namco that would see 4 guitar-themed arcade games released. Jammer Lammy Now had a very limited distribution period and was considered lost until 2023 when it was discovered that television entertainer Jonathan Ross owned a cabinet of the game. He agreed to dump the ROM of the entire game in an act of gaming preservation. As for the original console release, the game was praised for adding more to the game compared to Parappa the Rapper, and did get some decent review scores across the gaming media. But the game was still considered a flop. Greenblatt believed that 1999 may have been too late for a music game based on what made Parappa so successful, considering all the music games that had come out between Parappa's first release in 1996 and Jammer Lammy's release in 1999. In 2001 and 2002, there would be an official sequel to Parappa the Rapper, Parappa the Rapper 2, released for the PlayStation 2. Once again, getting decent praise from the gaming media, especially for being easier than Jammer Lammy. But like Jammer Lammy, and all of Matsura's other games, he would not get the same amount of universal accolades and attention that he got with the first Parappa the Rapper game. Matsura would receive retrospective accolades and developer awards, and Parappa the Rapper would still be regarded as one of the most innovative releases that helped PlayStation stand out. The character Parappa would not be seen in games again until the 2013 release of PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Lammy's only other appearance in games outside of her own would be Parappa the Rapper 2. But her voice actor, Sarah Ramirez, would achieve even greater fame since voicing Lammy.
The Tony goes to Sarah Ramirez.
They would become a Tony Award winner for their role in Monty Python's Spamalot, and would become a Screen Actors Guild Award winner as part of the ensemble of Grey's Anatomy in 2007. They would also win an Ally for Equality Award from the Human Rights Campaign Foundation for their contributions to the LGBTQ community. In addition to all the theater and television appearances, Ramirez would use their voice acting to reach a different audience as the voice of Queen Miranda from Disney's Sophia the First. The last collaboration between Matsura and Greenblatt under Nana Onsha would be the 2009 Major Minors Majestic March for the Wii. Matsura had been inspired by marching band music in the States and believed that the Wii remote could be used as a baton that the leader would use to guide the marching band parade. The game itself sold poorly and was met with less than stellar reviews. Greenblatt also criticized the development of the game, saying he could write a book about the compound mistakes made by hardworking and talented people. Jammer Lammy, while not as successful as Parappa the Rapper, still remains a beloved entry in the franchise created by Masaya Matsura and Rodney Greenblatt. Matsura, with his experience as one of the most well-known musicians of the 80s and early 90s, brought the music to life. Greenblatt, with his unique art style, helped make the franchise stand out in a world that pushed 3D aesthetics with an art style not seen in any other video game. And along with Ryo Watabe's writing, the stories told throughout were unusual, but still considered memorable for the music game genre. A genre which has seen many different innovations across the decades. But without Masaya Matsura's ambitious effort to combine the gaming experience with popular music, who knows what it would have taken to make music video games memorable, innovative experiences.
Squad, step aside.
Nintendo brings you new Player's Choice titles for $39.95. An N64 for $99.95. You can get million sellers like Zelda, 1080, Yoshi, Banjo-Kazooie, and Rogue Squadron. With deals like these, you can play till it hurts.
Thank you for shopping Nintendo.
Space Channel 5. Composed by Naofumi Hataya and Kenichi Tokoi. Sega wanted to make a game that appealed to everyone, specifically the female demographic. When producer Tetsuya Mizuguchi talked to female gamers, he learned that the majority of them enjoyed puzzle games, in contrast to male gamers who were more competitive in nature and wanted to simply be the best at whatever they played. Based on his research, he was able to come up with Space Channel 5, combining the music game genre with Simon Says-style gameplay that was both fun and a challenge. The challenge comes in part by Mizuguchi's inspiration of dance troupe Stomp, which sometimes made the game more challenging than fun. Space Channel 5 tells the story of reporter Ulala, who must use rhythm to boost ratings on her station while preventing a widespread epidemic of forced dancing at the hands of the Malorians. Ulala is played by and inspired by performer and dancer Apollo Smile. Apollo Smile was a performer under A&M Records and then GGC Records. In the mid-90s, she shifted her career to the anime industry, where she made a name for herself as the live-action anime girl and eventual host of the Sci-Fi Channel's Saturday Anime Block. Space Channel 5 also features another performer, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson already had a resume with Sega with the game Moonwalker, and he had been involved with the development of Sonic the Hedgehog 3's soundtrack. Although the extent of his involvement with Sonic 3 is debatable, his role in Space Channel 5 is much less complicated to figure out. As Space Channel 5 reached the halfway point of development, Jackson contacted Sega expressing interest in being part of the game. Despite how late in development the game was, they managed to come up with a way to put Michael Jackson in the game by creating the character Space Michael. Space Michael's role in Space Channel 5 is small. However, in the sequel Space Channel 5 Part 2, his role becomes much more prominent. The primary composer for the game was Kenichi Tokoi. He joined Sega working on the game Daytona USA Championship Circuit Edition. His opportunities were more limited than other Sega composers at the time. It wasn't until Sega worked on the Dreamcast where he started to shine, with his works on the Sonic Adventure series, and of course, the Space Channel 5 series, where he prominently showcases his signature jazz style of composition. He was joined by Naofumi Hataya, who had been with Sega since the early 90s. He worked on multiple Sega games over the years, including games highlighted in previous Primer episodes, Nights into Dreams, and the original Sonic CD soundtrack. Space Channel 5 was a music game for the ages. Not since Parappa the Rapper did a music game feature talent from a composition standpoint and a performance standpoint. With gameplay that challenged more than excited, Space Channel 5 set itself apart as a music game that innovated its genre and raised the bar for other music games to follow.
ここならどうする？
あのシャンデリアで一撃。
俺ならあの樽を落として潰す。
僕なら
こうしてやりたいことが何でもできる。対戦活劇パワーストーン。やめてください。カプコン。
これは誰もが遠い記憶の彼方に追いやってしまった世界での物語。太古の昔より吉凶を左右すると言われる神秘の魔石があった。パワーストーン。その石が7つ集まるとき、世界に奇跡が起こり、あらゆる願いが叶えられると伝えられている。
Okay, let's start the game.
Ah, Pepsi Man, you got here just at the perfect time. I got a call that a vending machine ahead ran out of Pepsi, and I was just on my way there when I got a flat tire. There are a bunch of people gathered in front of the vending machine. They want Pepsi, and the word is that they're just about to riot. I plan to head over there as soon as I can fix this flat, but it looks like it's gonna take some time. Can't you do something, Pepsi Man? Pepsi Man!
There's a new rock star in town.
PlayStation